All right, guys, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy CMB checking in. And look, I didn't plan on coming on here tonight, guys, but I had to talk about this. I'm looking at this article right now, and I'm in sort of disbelief. Lately we've been talking about how Terence Crawford, even though he won the biggest fight of his career last weekend, and he became a three-time undisputed champion in 3 different weight classes. He became a 5-division champion. He became pretty much the face of boxing by beating the face of boxing. And before this fight, a lot of people were saying that he didn't have a chance. A lot of people were saying that, coming up 2 to 3 weight classes was, career suicide. That Canelo Alvarez, he wasn't going to be able to handle Canelo Alvarez's power. And, it was an easy win for Canelo Alvarez. Now, after Crawford won the fight, people are still in disbelief. They're still not willing to give Crawford his flowers, even though he did something absolutely extraordinary. A lot of the media, they're still trying to downplay his win. They're still making excuses. Some of the Canelo Alvarez fans are doing the same thing. And I said in a previous video that, you need channels like mine to balance, the biased media. But I never thought I'd see this here. David Benavidez, who I am a fan of. You guys know I'm a fan of David Benavidez. I would think he would be the last person to try to diminish Bud Crawford's win over Canelo Alvarez. So let me pull up his quote here. Let me find it, guys. I think it was with Ring Magazine. And I want to read something. It says here, this is a quote. He says, Crawford caught him, meaning Canelo Alvarez, on the downside. Legs heavy, chin suspect. That's not beating Canelo we knew. That's exploiting a setup. Basically saying that Terence Crawford exploited a fading champion, basically. Canelo Alvarez was on the downside of his career. Now, keep in mind, Crawford is older than Canelo Alvarez, but he's exploiting a faded champion. Keep in mind, Crawford's coming up to arguably 3 weight classes to fight a guy who's seen as the face of boxing, who is an undisputed champion, but Crawford is exploiting him. Make that make sense. And this is coming from David Benavidez, a guy that I really do respect. But I told you guys, when I hear BS, you got to call it out, man. Whether you like the guy or not, downplaying what Crawford's done, man, that's, I just don't think it's right. I just don't think it's right. He's dared to be great. He maneuvered through, the machine, and, he's on the top now, and people don't like that. People don't like when guys who, go against the grain are able to accomplish great things. And apparently Davis had a change of heart, because in that article there, he says he's going to be back at 168 soon, which I only think that maybe now he wants to fight Terence Crawford for undisputed. We heard Turki Al-Sheikh mention that in a tweet. But before the fight, he didn't have any interest in fighting Terence Crawford. He said he fights at 175. And I know he fights Anthony Yarde in November. And I thought that the winner of that fight was going to take on Artur Beterbiev. So I don't know. I really don't know what's going on with that. Now, let me say this. If he does plan on going back to 168, I can understand that. One person has all the belts. He wanted to fight Canelo Alvarez to become undisputed. He didn't get the opportunity. Now he thinks that, he has his opportunity if he can get a fight with Crawford. Would he be exploiting Crawford? You have to ask yourself that. He said that Crawford pretty much exploited Canelo Alvarez. So couldn't we accuse him of the same thing, going back down to 168 to fight an older fighter? I mean, think about that. Think about that. You're throwing stones and hiding your hand. It doesn't really make any sense. Now, let me say this. I don't know if Crawford wins that fight or not. I think it'll be a very tough fight due to the fact that, Davis, a young champion, he's a big guy, but I don't think size win fights. But, he's a different type of fighter than Canelo Alvarez. He's not only is he a pressure fighter, but, he's a volume puncher. Could that give Crawford problems? Probably so. But Crawford is a very smart, tactical fighter. So I don't know who wins the fight, but I just think it's kind of hypocritical for David to try to diminish Terence Bud Crawford's win over a younger guy, and then he goes down to 168 to fight an older guy for undisputed, and he doesn't look at it the same way. Make it make sense. But anyway, that's all I wanted to say, guys. I just wanted to point out the hypocrisy here. And, I can't believe David's doing this. But anyway, you guys let me know what you think about this one in the comments section. It's the CMB. I'll talk to you guys in the next one. And I'm out. Peace.